Kelly with kellyscards.ca and welcome to this new card kit video. So this will be everyday card kit number 13, and this card kit will have 5 cards. So this is the first card. I picked out something a little vintagey. I love the colors in some of these papers and that, and I really love the combination of the teal with the brown. So to get started, I'm going to use some ink. There is this vintage photo distress ink. You can use whatever brown you have. And I basically have already just kind of inked most of my pieces. The only one I haven't done is this image. So I'll just do a little run through here and just use a tool, or you can use the ink pad itself to put the ink onto the image. And we're just going to go around the outside of all the pieces. And this just helps just kind of define those edges and give it a little bit more of a vintagey look. And I really like how that looks. So you can do that piece and this piece as well, and then these pieces. Now to get started, we are going to build upon this piece here, not the card base yet. We're going to put this piece on top. I love the wood on this paper. We're going to add a ribbon, and then we're going to start layering up on top. So to get started, we are going to put this wood image down first, this wood pattern paper. I really like this paper. It is really nice, and you can see a lot of the texture within the paper itself. It looks really nice. So we're going to add this first thing to this little mat. And I like to do this because this will pop out now from the card base. If I bring my card base in, I can show you. See how that just helps pop this out. If I didn't have this lighter shade in between, it would just kind of blend in a little bit, but now we can have it pop out. So we're going to continue adding here. I am going to add my butterfly image now here, straight to this little black mat I've made for it. And we'll just bring this in and we'll get this centered onto this little black mat. So this one has been backed. You can also mat up your little journey definition there as well as your letter. And we will start to put this together. So I have this really pretty ribbon, and it matches really nicely with the other colors in the card. And I'm going to have it about there, and I'm just going to start layering things up. I'm going to put this on, and then you'll find this wonderful little flourish which I've cut for us, and that's going to stick out like that. The letter, you can tuck it in behind. We'll do a little bit of a layering here, and then the journey piece we'll have into the corner, probably about there, so we can see the word, and we'll just arrange it as we need to move things around. And this is a good way to play with things so you can see how it looks, and that way if I want to move my ribbon, I can move my ribbon a little bit before I place it down. Now that I like the way it's laying, I think I'm going to keep the ribbon here, and I'm just going to pull it like this and flip it over and just tape the ribbon down. And as I've talked on many of my videos, I do that so the ribbon cannot come off. It just secures it a little bit better than some of the adhesive. And now that this piece is on here, we can put the whole piece up on this card base. This is a thicker card base. This one here is 110 pounds. It is a good quality cardstock, and I really like cardstocks like this to be card bases. It just gives you more stability for cards like this that have so many items on it. You want to make sure that your card is nice and stable. And we'll get the adhesive on here, and once I pull this off, we can add this onto that black card base, and we'll start to see it coming together here. And there, that's starting to look really good. Again, really like how this light color helps make this pop and just stand out a little bit better from the card base. So now that we've got that, I'm going to bring my little items in here that we're ready to go, and feel free to move things around. You don't have to keep it exactly where I have it. Feel free to put your items where you want. I do like the kind of the layering system like this. I think it adds a lot of interest throughout the card. And then once we put this little flourish in here, I think this really comes together. So for me, I think I'm going to put this down exactly like it is. And I'm going to start putting the elements down now. So I'm going to use some of this score tape on the back of this journey just to make sure that it doesn't come off. Sometimes the glossy papers are a little bit more difficult to stick to, and I still like to use them though because they are so beautiful. I love this wood image on this paper. I think it's very nice. So now once I've got that on there, I am going to start thinking about this flourish in this letter. And I'm not sure if I kind of like it at a diagonal. So I'm going to also put this one on with the score tape as well. I'm going to bring the D in here, my letter now, and I'm just going to tuck it in. I want to make sure that a lot of that flourish stands out because I really like that flourish. And it's okay that this is going to be over top of these other mats. I think that'll just be a little bit more interesting on this card. And now that those pieces are down, now I'm going to add my flourish. To add my flourish, I'm going to use some of this multi-matte medium, and I've just put it in one of these little jars. This jar is the one for the ultra-fine tip, applicator tip, and it helps just to put out some very small amounts at a time. You can see that tip is pretty small. And I'm just going to start dabbing some of this onto the back of this die. And again, I really like this flourish. I think it's really pretty, and especially because it's in that same color. Now you can use a wet glue. A wet glue probably is going to be a lot easier to get this adhered down. And I'm just going to bring this in now. And we want to make sure we keep the flourish on the card. We don't really want it sticking out because then that means if it goes in an envelope, it might get damaged. I think that is perfect. And I'm just going to put my hands down over top and gently push to make sure that this gets down. I've got this down now, really nice. And now I can continue putting the card together. So as a suggestion, you can go to Michael's, or a lot of craft stores have foam, and you can buy, this is half of the piece that I bought from Michael's, and it was like $1.25, and this is the foam that I use to back my images, just to give them a little dimension. You can use pop dots, or if you want, you can just adhere down your image flat. So the choice is yours. I'm going to use the foam, and I'm going to add that now to the back of this image. And I just like how this gives a little bit of a pop to this card. Again, you can use the pop dots or lay it flat. I kind of really like the foam. I think it just gives a nice lift to it. And I want to make sure I see this letter, and I want to cover just a little bit. I want to see the word journey in this section down here. So I think that actually is sitting almost quite perfect. So I'm going to put this down now. And now just to finish off the outside of the card, it's really nice to define the center of butterflies. So I've put 3 bling in your kits, and you can just add that to the middle of that butterfly. And this is just going to help define this butterfly. Because the colors are kind of darker, the butterfly kind of gets a little bit, I'm not going to say lost because it doesn't, but that little bit of bling on there just really helps define that butterfly a little bit. So I really, really like that. And now we just have the inside of our card left. And I'll bring in this little mat you'll find in your kit, and we can just add this to the inside of the card. Just like how this finishes up the card. Feel free to stamp on this piece if you wish. You can add a greeting to the inside here. I really like to keep cards like this quite simple on the outside so they can be given for any reason, and then add your sentiment when you write. So that will finish this first card. Again, really love these colors. These teals and browns really look nice. Love this wood pattern paper in the background here, and I like to use these little definitions. I think they're really cute, like this one that says journey. And again, I think this helps this card kind of fit into basically anything you'd want to send for. If you just wanted to say hello, or if you wanted to say happy birthday or whatnot, your options are pretty much unlimited with this card. So I hope you enjoyed this card. Again, this is the first card out of 5 cards in my everyday card kit number 13. You can check me out on my website at kellyscards.ca. You can subscribe for more videos, and if you'd like to purchase a kit, you can check in the description below and there will be a link to purchase one of these kits. And I just want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.